Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of Sobriety and Everything Else. My name is Eric Andrew, and I am zooming in to you from my studios in my dining room. And it's actually recorded, so it's okay. Anyway, I want to get right to it. This is a very busy weekend into the week of Thanksgiving. Here we are, right? And this can be a pretty crazy time if you're pretty new to sobriety or kind of teetering on the idea of sobriety and trying to figure out how to stay sober during this time period. Maybe you're newly sober and you're going through some hard things. So I want to kind of point out a couple of things that might be going on for you, and if they are, just hang in there. Hang in there with some of this stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the tools or some of the things that you might be able to use during this time, so you can make it through safely and successfully through the Thanksgiving holiday. All right. So first off, this can be a very emotional time for a lot of us. A lot of things get kind of churned up during this time. Maybe we're working on a broken relationship or a broken marriage that's really tough, and maybe there's children involved, and we might not be able to see those children during this weekend, and that can be hard. That can be very difficult. Maybe we're having just difficulties with our own self. How do we manage ourselves? How do we feel about this change that is happening for us? We might be feeling a bit lonely, maybe because of those things that are happening within the family structure. Some fences that probably need to be mended eventually, maybe not right now, but certainly eventually. This is where we really need to give ourselves some time, and we need to give ourselves some grace and patience. We also need to give the other people the same time and grace and patience. And that can be hard because we may feel bitter. We may feel angry, frustrated, sad, alone. We may feel like it's not our fault. We didn't do this to them. We may feel it is our fault, and we know it's our fault, and we want to somehow fix it. One thing that I've learned in sobriety that has really hit home is it's not about what you say, it's more about what you do. So when we want to quickly call that person and apologize and say this isn't going to happen anymore, and I'm on the right track now, and I'm moving forward, and I have X amount of days without any drink or drug, whatever it might be, we have to remember that those people have heard that before, or parts of that before. Maybe not the I haven't drank in 4 days or 5 days or a week or a month or 2 months, whatever, but they've heard the other stuff before, the apology. And that is kind of falling on deaf ears right now. They need to see something. And this is where time comes into play. And this is the hard part of being in early sobriety. Time. Allowing for time. As we get better, as we start to heal, we start to do things more the right way. We start to act more like the adults that we're supposed to be, and less like children, or less like narcissistic almost. It's all about me and not about anybody else. Those things start to go away. We start to be more caring of others. We start to be willing to be there for others. When we say we'll be there, we're showing up. And those are the things that people start to see. And when they start to see that, then they start to believe the words. They start to believe that, yes, you are a person of your word. You are doing the things that you say you're doing. You are getting better. You are being trustworthy. But all that happens in time. So if you're sitting there this pre-Thanksgiving weekend and you're wondering about, hey, am I going to, be with the people that I care about? Or am I going to have to stay away? Am I going to need some time for myself? Maybe this is a great time to have some self-care. Take some time for yourself. Allow yourself to pamper and Understand that you're doing a big thing right now. Trying to get sober is not easy. Trying to change your life is not easy. Change in itself is a hard thing to do. Whether we want it or whether we don't want it, it's difficult and it takes time, and we have to get used to it. We may have this good moment where we're feeling really great, and we want to share that, and we want to show people how great we are, but we have to also understand that we're a little bit vulnerable right now. That, yeah, we might be having a great day right now. Maybe we've strung together 3 or 4 good days and feeling pretty strong and powerful. But we know maybe you've already had this experience. Maybe you haven't. But early sobriety triggers can happen and set us back. And we have to kind of start the process over again. Not that we don't bring into that all that we've already learned. We do. But we kind of have to get it back going again. So we need to give ourselves time as well. All right. So that's the first part of it. And that's the really hard part, right? The emotional part, the grieving part, the grieving of our old lives, the grieving of the things that we've done, the grieving of the people that we've hurt that maybe we're not going to get to see this particular Thanksgiving. So that's the really hard part, right? But there's some good things in here. And one is to just allow yourself to be in this moment. As much as it might hurt, as much as it might feel desperate, maybe, or, at least lonely, but it could even feel desperate, like you really need this to be fixed and fixed right away. Allow yourself to just be. Let yourself be in this moment that you're in, this healing journey that's starting for you. And just try to wrap your mind around, what is it that I'm feeling inside, and where are those feelings coming from? And what is it that I want or need to do right now for myself? Because maybe you've never done that before. Maybe you've never really just truly given yourself a free day to just be you and relax and do something that you want to do. And that could be 100 million things, because there's so many people in this world, and each of us have different things that we kind of consider our things, right? For some of us, it's going to the gym or going out on a run or a hike. For others of us, it's curling up with a blanket on our couch and our pup or cat and watching a really good movie, and eating some popcorn. Maybe for some of us, it might be painting or drawing or playing music or even recording music. Or maybe even for some of us, like me, it might be just doing a podcast, right? Just getting out there and getting your words out and saying what you need to say. Whatever it is, allow yourself to have that during this coming week. Give yourself that grace and that opportunity to just be you in the moment and just heal. Allow yourself to heal. Okay? Some other things too. Have some gratitude. And what I mean by that is, so you might say, well, wait a minute, Eric, or coach, or whatever you're calling me. How can I have gratitude? My family doesn't want me around. I burned every bridge there is to burn. I don't have a job right now. I'm really, really, really struggling. So what is it that I'm supposed to be grateful for right now? That's a great question. And I think what I would say to you is, where the gratitude starts is just with you. You're breathing right now. That means that you have a chance, right? That means that there's still hope. There's still an opportunity here to move forward, to get better, to be that better person that you want to be. And every time there's hope, anytime there's hope, there's gratitude. So have gratitude for the fact that you have this opportunity to change. You have this opportunity to get better. You have this opportunity to get rid of this thing in your life that has made it difficult, that has taken so much away from you right now, that has caused you to have to be distant from so many people. So have gratitude for that. Have gratitude for the sunshine. Have gratitude for depending on where you're living, maybe the snowfall that just happened, or the nice, cool, warm breeze that's coming off the ocean or off a lake, or the rustling of the trees as you walk through the woods, or you go outside and the trees in your yard. Have gratitude for that. Be thankful for those things, because they are part of this world and part of this life and part of who you are as a person. And maybe you've taken a lot of that for granted. Maybe you haven't looked at the things around you and realized how important they are and how much gratitude you can have. Have gratitude for where you're living. Now, I realize, especially in early sobriety, that could mean you may not be at home. You may be on somebody's couch or in somebody's spare room, or maybe you're in a rehab, or a hospital or something like that. But have gratitude for the fact that you're being cared for and that you have a roof over your head and a place to sleep. It may not be perfect. It may not be exactly where you want to be, but at least it's there. And you're not in the cold. And somebody somewhere is caring about you enough to give you that place to sleep. So have gratitude for that. Maybe you just got done eating. Have gratitude for having that food. Have gratitude for, maybe you're looking for a job, or maybe you still have your job. Have gratitude for still having a job. That you have a way to make money, that you have a way to help yourself financially and pay the bills and do the things that that we all adults have to do, right? Have gratitude for those things, and just have gratitude for being a human and trying to make it, because it's not easy. This life is hard. It's not, but you know what? It was never meant to be easy. And this is the one thing that I've learned in sobriety, especially getting away from the substance, getting away from the drink, is I tried to numb all the hard stuff. I tried to numb it out so I didn't have to feel it and I didn't have to face it. And I was missing out on life, because part of life is facing that stuff. Part of life is stepping up and realizing I have to deal with those things. As hard as they may be, I have to deal with it. And that's the beauty, I believe, that sobriety and recovery is teaching us that we can stand up and we can do hard things. We really can. And listen, this moment right now for Thanksgiving can be hard. Some of us, maybe it's not as hard anymore. Maybe it's gotten more comfortable. But for some of us, it's really hard. This might be our first Thanksgiving not drinking or using. And we may not be in the perfect place that we want to be in. So that can be hard. But we can do it. And we can get through it. Make sure that you have people that you can reach out to. That's another part of this, super important. Stay connected. So if you're in AA, go to they have the, what do they call them? Thanksgiving-a-thons and things like that are going on. I know in my area, they're going on everywhere. And in some cases, they have nice, good food to eat and camaraderie and connection and sharing. A great place to go spend an hour or maybe 2, or 3, if you need it. If you're by yourself, go and hang out for the day. I know in one place for me, they're starting Wednesday night and it goes all the way through till Friday night. So you might be able to find one going on and you can come in and out. They don't care. So you could come for an hour, go home or do what you got to do and then come back for another round, right? And in some cases, they're bringing homemade food and things like that. So you're getting taken care of. So go make those connections. Maybe you're not interested in AA. Maybe that's not part of who you are, but have somebody to touch base with, connect with people. And I know in this time of year, I know in my recovery communities, people are all about reaching out to each other and being there for each other. And people are more than willing to talk on the phone. They might even, if they're close and local, maybe they'll invite you over, and don't say no. Go. I have a hard time with that kind of stuff too, man. I struggle with saying yes to things like that. I feel like a burden, but don't feel that way. If somebody offers, they're not offering in hopes that you say no. They're offering in hopes that you say yes, They're offering in hopes that they know that you won't be by yourself, that you have a place to be and you have a warm meal inside of you and maybe a few laughs over the course of an hour or two. So go to those places. All right. Again, like I said, stay in the moment. Stay in the moment of the day. Try not to get too caught up in your thoughts. I love this, I've heard this many times, but this idea of like if you have one foot in the future and one foot in the past, then you're peeing all over the present, right? Or they don't call it a present for anything. It is gift. The present is a gift, and we get to open it every day. So please try to stay present. I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but try to stay present. Lastly, if you do have a place to go, if you do have people that have already invited you and you've accepted it, and maybe you might be down the road a little bit in your recovery and you're feeling pretty strong and you're doing pretty well, still have a plan. Have a plan. Have a way that you can leave if you need to leave. Bring your own beverages, so you don't get caught in that awkward position of them offering you a glass of wine or a beer or something. Maybe you have an NA drink, whatever you like to drink, that's non-alcoholic. It could be a seltzer and lime. It could be a soda or orange juice, or it could be an NA product like a NA beer or NA wine, whatever works for you. Glass of ice water. That's fine too. But you put a glass in your hand with your beverage in it and no one's going to ask you a thing. And trust me on this, nobody cares. Nobody really cares. So just know that and bring your own drink. All right. And have a game plan. When things start to go over the side. I know I do. I know when people start to like fall into the abyss. And a lot of times for me, that's my exit music right there. That's the time for me to say, you know what? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, but I'm going to head home. And I grab my coat and I get in my car and I drive home. And trust me on this. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to be upset about it. Nobody's going to worry about it. So you can go home, get yourself relaxed at home with a nice book or a TV show or a movie or whatever it is that you like to do, and just relax for the rest of the evening. Whatever you need to do to get through this holiday is what you need to do. The one thing that you should not do is allow this holiday to drive you back to the substance you're trying to stop with, especially with drinking. That's really what this is the focus on. So obviously I could go on and on and on. I don't want to spend a lot more time here taking up your time, but I hope this helps. And I hope that you find your way through this holiday and get to the other side of it without having to go back to your substance, and that, you live to tell about it, basically. And I don't mean to laugh or joke about that. That's not funny, but I want you to know that you're cared about and you're loved and you can do hard things. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.